This week's show brought to you by Roosters, a fun casual joint. Frank Shoup, Georgetown's big name in cars.
Welcome everybody to episode 2 of the Scott County Cardinals News Graphic Boys Basketball Coaches Show for 2017-18. We're here to talk about opening week of the season, which was a challenging one. The schedule is brutal in December, and Cordia came to town for the opening game. It was tied at halftime, but the Cardinals rolled in the second half to a 91-66 victory. Michael Marino with 28 of his career-high 40 points after intermission. It was a good night, good season debut for Cooper Robb, and he and the other football players had not been on the basketball court much before that night. And that was a good thing because the whole team was going to be needed for the trip to Ballard on Friday night. That's a rivalry that has gone all Ballard's way for the past 9 years. It had been 7 straight losses for the Cardinals, but they turned that around with a 69-63 victory. That only tells a very small fraction of the story. Ballard jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Very hot, hostile, loud environment. The student section from Ballard was on full display. Cardinals cut it back to a 7-point deficit at halftime. Cooper Robb got himself into the game, got going. Michael Marino got going, especially on the boards in the second half. 18 points, 18 rebounds for Marino. The Cardinals didn't take the lead until the first minute of the fourth quarter on a three-pointer by Robb, but they hold on for the win. They go to 2-0 over another top 5 team in the state, and that sets them up going forward to this week, which is going to be the next 3 games are going to be challenging. There's no question about it. Another top 10 team comes to town on Thursday night as Lexington Christian Academy brings basically its whole team back from last year too. These are the top 2 teams in the 11th region, and both teams basically have a full complement of players, very junior dominated, especially on the Scott County side, so it'll be interesting to see. You got arguably the 2 top players in the area going at it with Michael Marino and Kyle Rode. LCA will bring a good crowd, so we want to challenge the Cardinal faithful to get on out there and support the team. And it's going to be a good night of basketball Thursday at 7:30. Then they'll have to bounce back Friday night. This is a good preparation for the long term because this is similar to what you'll see in the region tournament or district tournament. They will bounce back the next night and go to Frederick Douglass. Nice new gym. A team that will be at full strength after having some guys sit out the opener due to some eligibility issues. It's going to be a test. Coach Hicks admitted he doesn't really know much about Douglass, and that Friday night game is going to say a lot about where things are in the district. New district opponent, you want to get off to a good start in that 42nd district standings. And they will turn around next Tuesday. We'll probably talk about this a little bit both weeks because the Lexington Catholic rivalry is one that is obviously big around here. And that game next Tuesday night, which is December 12th, will say also a lot about where things stand in the 11th region before Christmas. A lot of games stacked up here as the Cardinals looking to establish themselves. It's all on paper right now. They're touted as the number 1 or number 2 team in the state, depending on who you ask. But you got to back it up on the court, and a lot of those top opponents are stacked up here early. So we will find out where Scott County stands. Had a chance to talk with Coach Hicks about the opening week of the season. I know he kind of joked to me, who made this schedule going in when he knows he was primarily responsible for it. Had a lot to say about the Cordia game beforehand, about how he didn't really know much about that team, and some of that played out. Took some halftime adjustments to win that one. And then Ballard, he obviously is more familiar with this rivalry than anyone. A lot of the current players have never really been in a Ballard game or in the Ballard gym. He knew what to expect, and he knew it was going to take a 32-minute effort. Let's hear what Coach Hicks had to say about Week 1 and about Week 2 going forward.
The Cordia win was tougher than expected for Scott County.
Yeah, Cordia's got a bunch of good athletes, Cal. They come from the New York City area, so they're tough kids. They just haven't had a lot of time to play together, and then I know they made a lot of turnovers and stuff. But the big man inside for them, at one time, he was ranked on ESPN, one of the top 100 players in the country, and they got some good guards and everything. So they'll make a lot of noise over there, especially statewide in the Class A. They'll make a lot of noise with it.
The game at Ballard was a battle of teams that are mirror images.
You know, they play like us system-wise. They want to, you know, we haven't pressed as much the last few years as we did in the early years. So, but Ballard still presses. He'll gets up out in your face, and well, they really get after you, especially at Ballard. You know, and the atmosphere there was just fantastic. Gosh, you know, it's just a great night of basketball, and well, I'm just really glad that we come out and won, because that's a tough place to win at.
The crowd and the constant pressure defense complicated matters at Ballard.
Even in Rupp, they're far removed from you. In Ballard, they're right on top of you, and they always have a great student section when we're up there. And Coach Renner just does a great job with his system and getting them in and getting them playing hard. And that's probably the toughest team you could ever play early in the season, especially on the road. Because they come at you so hard, they press in, and they're so physical. But the story of that is we out-rebounded them 25 rebounds, and that's amazing, Cal. That's really amazing. A lot of those, I guess 90% of the 19 rebounds that Michael Marino got, boy, he went up in a crowd and got them. He just went up over everybody and brought them down strong, and they're good about stripping you. And boy, we took good care of the ball with that, and that was amazing. Of course, it's a little bit skewed because we made 25 turnovers, so we didn't give them a chance to rebound. They got it back without rebounding. They got it back before we shot it.
Scott County struggled to get the ball to its #1 weapon on Friday night.
The best thing about Ballard's defense, Cal, was that Michael Marino got 9 shots. And we're not stupid. We want Michael Marino to get the ball because he shoots at about an 80% clip. He was 6 for 9 the other night from the field, only got 9 shots. Ballard did a great job of pressuring the ball. They did a great job of denying Michael, and also with backside hip.
He got most of those 9 in the second half. The first half,
he did.
It was like he hardly...
We just had a hard time getting the ball into him, and that's where our passing and our ball handling abilities got to get better, and it will. Glenn and Cooper, heck, a week ago from Friday night in the Ballard game, they were playing football in Louisville. So, I think the kids just toughed that game out. They would just toughed it out, and it wasn't nothing that you could say other than just old-fashioned toughness. They wanted to win that ball game, and they hung in there and won it.
Toughness helped the Cards overcome a below-average offensive night.
That's a great characteristic of this team, and Glenn Covington had 7 rebounds second half. Just really got some big rebounds when he had to have them. Cooper Robb, I know him and Cooper and Glenn couldn't be in basketball shape, but they hung in there tough. Gosh, they didn't waver, and I thought the second half up there, Bryce Long really stepped up and rebounded and played well, and as did Lorenzo, and Mike and Diablo had a little tougher time. I mean, Cam and Diablo had a little tougher time up there, but Diablo adjusts. He learned now at Scott County he gets everybody's best when we go play him, and so he'll get ready for that. He's really going to be a fine guard, as is Cam. Cam had a tough time because they were quicker and taller, and made it tough.
Thursday brings another clash between 2 of Kentucky's top teams.
LCA is ranked 6th in the state. Last Friday we played Ballard ranked 5th. This week we got LCA ranked 6th, I think, in the state. And they're big. They have guard Kyle Rode, who has been listed a lot with Mike Marino as the best in that class, the junior class this year. They got Hall inside, it's a big, tough 6'5" kid that can really play. And they got Hendrickson, who is inside-outside player, but he's about 6'7", 6'8", but he's an excellent three-point shooter for out there. And they have Hunt, Dalton, and Hacker, big guards up top also, and so they're number 2 in the region, ranked number 2 behind us.
Scott County heads to Frederick Douglass for the program's first ever meeting on Friday.
But I don't know a whole lot about them. I know they got Mitchell, they got Henry Clay's best player, and they got Mack, they got Brian Station's best freshman, best young player Brian Station had. So that's 2 pretty good ones to start with right there. And Lexington, 300,000, 350,000 people. There's players running around down there, and I think that Douglas has done a pretty good job of bringing those kids in. Kurt Young did a really good job over at Mercer County, and now he's there at Douglas. So they'll have to be dealt with, and even right off the bat, because Mitchell's been a 3-year starter. Henry Clay started since his freshman year, so and that's a district game. This year we'll play there's 5 teams in the district, so we'll have 8 district games this year. And Henry Clay's already beat them over there with a lot of the players out, 3 starters out. So it's a game we need to win. If we're going to win a district, we need to beat them.
All right, that was Coach Hicks, and he's been through the battles, and last Friday night was one of the bigger ones, and one of the ones he's probably most proud of in recent years, as his team found a way to gut it out, as I called it on Tuesday in the paper, a sweat and floor burns victory. He mentioned Michael Marino had a triple-double that night, 18 points, 18 rebounds, and 15 claw marks on his arms. That's pretty accurate, I think. Want to challenge the Cardinal faithful. This Thursday night against LCA it's a must-see. Okay, you need to be there, and we want to. I'm not the one throwing out this challenge. Coach Chris Wilhite, assistant coach Chris Wilhite, threw out the challenge on Twitter. He said he put up a picture of the Ballard student section, which was ginormous, and he said, if you turn out like this on Thursday night, the coaching staff will be buying y'all pizza. So, some pizza on the line for the Card section. The B team, as it were, and we'd like to see all of you there on Thursday night. I know I'd like to see that place rocking. LCA brought it big time last year in their gym with their student section, and we'd hate to be outnumbered on home turf, home territory on Thursday night. So keep that in mind if you're viewing this before the game on Thursday evening. Get out and support the Cards. Anyway, time to turn to the athletes, the players this week, and we talked with a couple. They probably would count themselves as the ones that were a little shell-shocked at the Ballard game at the start. Cam Fluker and Diablo Stewart, it wasn't their best night, but they both had huge games against Cordia and in the preseason. So we know they can get it done. And once they settle in and see what it takes every night, especially Diablo Stewart. He is a transfer from Franklin County, and he had an all-region type season there last year. But how he fits in with this group, he's seeing it's going to be a different thing every night. But he brings a skill to the point guard position and some efficiency from the three-point range and the free throw line that's going to help this team long-term, really, as they try to achieve their goals to be region champions, district champions, state champions. So here's a look and some questions for Cam Fluker and Diablo Stewart about their season so far and what they expect going forward.
As part of the comeback at Ballard, the Cardinals overcame 26 turnovers.
We got down like 12 or 14 at one point, but then coach made some substitutions that got us going, and we started playing our game again, started hitting shots, getting stops.
Coach Hicks he put on the schedule, and he said he didn't know if we were ready, so we took it as a challenge, and we had our football players back, Cooper, Glenn, Josh, Landon. We went out there. We got a little rattled at first. Knew it, big environment, crowd, fans, everybody, and we went out there and played hard, and we threw the ball over too much, then we started coming back slowly but surely.
SC trailed 27-13 early in the second quarter at Ballard before rallying.
It seemed like it was like a snowball effect. They score, crowd gets louder, we throw a turnover, crowd gets way louder, and it just kept going. And we just had to call a timeout and try to slow it down.
That was something new for me. I've never played in that type of crowd like that, especially that good of a team too. So.
It was a statement win for the Cards, despite not playing their best.
That's a real important win for us. Second game of the season, yeah, like you said, pretty early. But us coming together and actually fighting through to get that win was real tough. It was real good for us.
We had people on Twitter telling us that we was going to get beat because we was in Ballard, and that's a tough place to win. So we just went out there and executed and got the W.
Stewart is happy to be in Scott County after starting his career elsewhere.
I actually love it. We all play as a family. We all got each other's back and everything, so I really love it.
Fluker is not overwhelmed by the prospect of facing 2 tough Lexington opponents back-to-back.
That was a great game that they played, so we're going to try to give them a good whooping this year at our place.
And then come right back, I think, and play Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, we got to beat them too at their new gym. Yeah, so we want to win that game for the districts.
Yeah, it seems like.